I am an energy healer specializing in harnessing the power of the akashic records. My counterpart, Jay, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. He is an author, mentor, holistic energy healer, specializing with over 27 years experience in working in the shadow persona. So, welcome.
So how are we doing today? Yeah, how are we doing today, Jack? So we've got a little bit of a chat. I went on a spiritual journey back to the spiritual home in West Australia the other week. That's what we went on last week. And started doing some videos regarding my spiritual path, about how this all started. It actually happened in the town of Fremantle, West Australia. And I actually went and did quite a lot of videos that I'm actually uploading and editing to accompany the book that's going to be coming out soon with the poetry. How have you been?
That's exciting. No, I've been following the updates that you've been keeping us on, so it looks like a beautiful trip and can't wait to hear more about it for sure. And for me, yeah, it's a gorgeous day here today, so it's been a nice weekend, relaxing, and just looking forward to the next week.
Fantastic. I was going to say, skin colour, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't she look gorgeous today? Have a look at that. She's got, I think it must be white. Is it really that hot out there? Because we're in winter, obviously, so you'll see the difference between when we do this podcast when it's summer over here, and it's obviously, winter over there. So,
and I was on summer holidays, so it's that I don't know, duality. I love it.
Oh, it's fantastic. Now, did we get any questions from your side, Jack, at all? Because obviously, I've been offline.
I forgot to print them out from work, so I apologize. So hopefully you had
That's
a few.
I got a couple of questions. I did get a couple of more comments and questions about some of the videos that I put up. Obviously, a lot about the spiritual journey that I was on. When I got back to WA, they were asking me what was your intention of going back? Obviously going back because I love the joint. Okay, but I went down to Fremantle a couple of times, mainly to get connected with the earth again. And I did a lot of videos on the different stages of my journey when I was down there. So it actually triggered a lot of memories and all those things. So I got one question. I did get a couple of comments. One was about, asking me what brain food, and I go, okay, brain food. Now, I'll speak about brain food for a minute, and then when I go through, we'll get you to go. So, brain food for me was basically looking at. I think I put a video up last week about what was actually feeding my mind before the spiritual awakening actually happened. And just to quickly explain it, basically, it deleted everything, and I basically brought myself up with regards to this spiritual awakening, and we'll go through that in a second. But what were you feeding and how were you feeling? So I gave a good example of having a look at I actually just basically looked at what am I watching now, what was I watching then, and I'm watching more stuff to do with spiritual awakening and spiritual development, and understanding more about the deeper side of life. And obviously people know that I've worked with the shadow, so I love the dark side, night of the soul. So I'm really feeding my brain with regards to how I was, so I can help others with regards to their journeys. And especially when it comes to the shadow and the dark stuff, everyone says dark is evil. It's not. Alright, it's enhancing what was created within you when you were younger, or whenever it was, and then when you became enlightened, as they say, you actually look and reflect of what was happening within you while that was happening, so you can enhance your life and help others. What do you think about that there, Jack? Have you had any experience? I think, let's talk about your experience. That TP, let's talk about it.
Well, on my trip, I had purchased this gorgeous property by Lake Winnipeg, and he had this vision of how he's going to transform it and what he can do with the land, and I just fell in love with that vision. I saw, the possibilities of having that as my home base, as my, as I develop out of the 9-to-5 life that I've kind of built myself in. Where would I want to be, surrounded by family, in nature, where I can have property to build, my retreat, my place where people will come for their spiritual healing. And I'd really love to have a center where there is, that physical connection to people. I do a lot of stuff online. I'm looking for more of a physical embodiment of that connection as my life progresses. And I can see it. I would have a vision of this triangle, and I don't see a lot in my meditations, but I always saw a clear house with a triangle. And as soon as I got to this property, that was the house, the front of, like, it's an A-frame, I guess they call it. But I was like, I feel like I've envisioned this before, and it just all came together. And it was really, my family's there, and we're like-minded individuals, and it was just really felt like home. And I love that feeling.
Fantastic. I'll ask you, we both obviously both went on those spiritual journeys. I guess we're sort of like, I call it like time traveling. I'll go to the next question after this one, because I sort of talked about, someone asked me about astral travel and all those kind of things, just a random one, but it was actually quite funny when it came up, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Do you believe, now we're talking about the goddess Isis over there, that you are, now I can see goddess Isis around, you can see the white light that's above us and all those kind of things. Look, you can believe what you want, but synchronicities in the white light, this is supposed to happen. And we'll talk about, there was another one about messages. I just ramble, so they go from there. What about your connection to Isis? Did you actually get your goddess reads, which are amazing, which you can go on, Akashic Healing 333. I'm shameless plug. Go on there. Magnificent. Fantastic readings every single week. Do you feel you've got more connected with the goddess Isis and your readings? Because I believe you have. I mean, obviously watch them every week. Okay, I'm biased. Yeah, that's the way it is. She's good.
I feel so connected to the cards and the energy right now, and being able to really label what's going on. I'm still surprised at how accurate the readings are, even for myself. Like, sometimes I'm just like, quit playing around with me. It's just too perfect. And I'm so excited. And if you guys do follow my oracle readings, I recently came back to my talisman that I kind of lost, and it came back to me, and ever since then, like, things have just felt amazing. So I don't take anything lightly. I believe everything happens for a purpose, and it happened, and I feel 100% connected right now, and I'm just gonna ride the wave as long as possible, because it's a really powerful flow of energy lately, and I'm just gonna capitalize on it as much as I can.
We went through Lyons Gate, we've gone through the Venus retrograde, we've gone through, there's Mercury retrograde coming through. There's a solar eclipse or something else, I can't remember. So much stuff happening, but the energies are crazy. So if you are feeling all those kind of things, the best thing you can do is journal them and write them down. But going back to the spiritual home that we went to, I was walking around, I was getting flashbacks, and they were talking about deja vu and living a moment. Now, I got a question about, do you feel like you're living the moment? Are you reliving something? I go, I probably am. And it's funny that you say that, because if you look at situations in your life that have happened, what you can do is I can relate it back to another part of your life. There's another heart there for you.
I was like, that's not a heart. My kids can do it better than me. But we're getting a lot of luck.
That's an all good one. But I want you to have a look at yourself and saying, I know I'm going through something that actually occurred back in the day about 20 years ago. Exactly the same path. So they say about deja vu. I say deja vu could be something. Absolutely, it could be reliving the feeling and the experience within spiritually, but you're in a different time limit. So it's not really, I guess it's not really saying that you're time traveling, but you can absolutely feel exactly the same thing that happened. For me, it's happening 20 years ago. Now, I know what the result is, what the result was. I'm just going to detach from the result and do what I have to do. But at the end of the day, I know what the result was back then, and all I can do is, knowing that I'm a better person myself, hopefully the result will be the same. But again, you detach. Wade Guy says always detach from the outcome. All yours.
A karmic cycle, or like a another chance to take another choice? Or what do you think that the purpose of going through this exact same emotional feeling, like what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I'm thinking basically you've gone through it once, and you've gone through it at a level where I definitely wasn't as connected as what I am now, and being aware. But they're giving you the messages from above, and believe me, we'll talk about synchronicities, we can talk about that later, is that you've been through it, you know what it's all about. That's the message. So to trust in what you had, and you know it works. Now you've got even more trust within yourself and your heart, and you've got these beautiful people you're working with, and you've got a different point in your life, so you should be able to manifest it again, and it will happen, but it will happen at a greater, it's going to happen at a greater level and a greater speed, which, we know things are just going whoosh, and we know, and it's just a case of knowing that you did that pre-planning, I guess, in some ways, and then you move into what you're doing now and going, yep, this is going to happen, just let it happen, and trust. I guess it's more about trusting your universe, I guess, in some ways, because you've already been through it.
The things too now is that anything that happens, challenging, not challenging, I'm just like, let it happen. I honestly feel like there's nothing that can come up that I can't manage. And it's a really good feeling. I haven't felt like that in my life very often, but it's like just this knowing that it's an inner knowing, and I love it. It's strong.
So do you reckon, do you think, and for me, do you think now that we've connected on a great level and we're sort of ascending a lot more, do you believe that we are sort of getting to that point where we can go, right, we just got to go and live what we got to do? I know myself, when things come up in life, I just go, right, I'm going to do it, this is what I'm going to focus in today, because I know myself, and I think a lot of the viewers, they'll go, oh my God, I've got so much to do, all this kind of stuff is happening. But then you've got to really, when you focus, you go, right, you've got to trust in the process and focus on what, if this is meant to be now, you've got to do this now, and that's it. Don't go spreading yourself around. I mean, I've got that advice so many times, but you get to a point where you don't want to lose an opportunity. That's fine, but then you pretty much are in some ways, because you're not letting the natural flow of things go, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really in tune with how to balance my energy, what amount I can put out into certain areas and what amount I have to hold back for myself, and so that I can really keep myself at like an equilibrium. I never get too far off. Like on the actual day 8/8, I could feel very anxious. I was planning to break a habit that day, but when the day came and I was just so anxious, I was like, you know what? Today's not the day. Give it a couple minutes, let this energy filter out, and then start, because you're already in a mindset. Don't throw yourself off further by, challenging, adding another thing on this plate today.
That's a good piece of advice, yeah.
I didn't throw myself off balance. I let the energy channel out. A couple days later, stepped up, started up, and it worked way better that way.
Absolutely. So you basically came to a point where you've done some great growth in a way that you're actually trusting yourself, and you're in a judgment. That'd be the way to go, isn't it?
100%. And I even called myself out on it. I'm like, good for you, because that isn't my habit. That's not my norm in future or old self version. And it's a step forward to really keeping myself at a balanced emotional level consistently, which is really what I'm striving for, because my struggles. So that's really important, to channel the energy accordingly.
Yeah, we tell our stories. There's so much we're going to go through. As I said, this is only a baby podcast to start. We've only done like 15 episodes, but we've got so much to talk about. And there's so many great people out there. There's a lady by the name of Shah who does a lot of, she's fantastic. She's doing about the men's rights with regards to masculinity and men within this world. There's a lot of people on there talking about their spiritual awakenings and their stories. They're sharing their stories, that the struggles that they've been through, and that's what we want to do on this podcast too. I had another question. Sorry, we're going back and forth, guys, but we're getting just comments and questions that we can go through today. Obviously, that's the best we can do. people saying that they love to hear this, they want to be heard. And we've got, obviously I've been doing interviews with, I want to do a shout out to Karen Mendel, Steve Forcini, and I'm gonna go I've gone blank. There's gone blank now. He'll kill me, but anyway, that's another story. But we've got so many people that we want to get on the podcast. Chris, my apologies. I'm still in WA time. So we're getting these people because people need to be heard. People need their stories to be told. And there's a lot of messages, a lot of stories, and a lot of learning you can do from other people. Diana and Sarah and Cortez, all these lovely people are joining the Hart Foundation here to get the word out and actually spread the word that it's a light. I call it now a PhD in life, in your life. You've gone through this university of your life to get to this point so you can help others. You talk about Tony Robbins and Dean Graziolo, okay, all those other great people that are trying to help us become the best people we can, and become, it's a guys, mate, whether it's a mentor, coach, whatever term you want to put it on, we're going to be like that. So